Hello and welcome to Season 2 of the Teacher's Journey podcast. I'm your host, Brian Costello, here to talk with some incredible educators and hear the stories that have made them who they are today. Hello and welcome to the New Year's edition of the Teacher's Journey podcast. I'm your host, Brian Costello, and I'm excited to talk to you tonight because it's just me. There's no interview, there's no second person. There's no other person's journey to discover. It's just a chance for me to start sharing my journey with you and kind of reconnect a little bit with where I'm at going into 2019. So I'm looking forward to sharing this all with you, and it's going to be a bit shorter. The format will be a bit different, but still, a discovery of a journey and a little bit of discussion about where I'm at. And I'm going to end with, I know a lot of people have been blogging their one word for 2019, so I'm going to share mine through the podcast. And hopefully you will all really be as excited as I am to move into this new year. So I just kick it back to the beginning of this podcast, which started this year, where I was sitting talking to a friend of mine, my good friend Sarah Thomas. And I said, we were talking about the Teacher's Journey, the book, and she said, what do you see yourself doing with this when it's all done? Like when you finish writing the book, and what would you like to do with it? And I said, I would love to get the chance to sit down and talk to these really cool people and have great conversations on a regular basis and share those conversations with people. And so she looked at me straight through the camera and she said, so why aren't you doing that now? To which I had no legitimate answer. I had nothing I could say back to her about that. There was no answer for that. And so a couple weeks later, I dove right into podcasting. I had no idea what I'm doing. I'd still say I don't really know what I'm doing. I'm trying to learn. I've learned as I went. So this year's been interesting for a lot of reasons. And hopefully you've enjoyed this journey with me over the course of the year. I've had the opportunity to talk to 17 different amazing people, some of which have been incredible surprises for me and shared things with me that I wasn't expecting. Others have shared great things with you that I was expecting them to share. But all along the way, I've learned so much from so many of you. And it's really inspired me to want to keep going and do more and find new stories and new types of things to talk about. So already this year, in the second season of the Teacher's Journey podcast, I've had the great opportunity to interview, Dr. Sam Fessich, who's in higher ed. I had the chance to interview Dr. Will, who talks a lot about being an entrepreneur and how you can be an edupreneur, and some really, really just great stuff all around. I've had some other really wonderful interviews so far this year, and I have some great stuff lined up for all of us to listen to going forward. Some things I want to try out, things I want to do and share with you that'll be different and hopefully inspire you in the ways that you've inspired me over the course of this year. So 2019 has some exciting things for the Teacher's Journey podcast. I'm going to do some snippets live down in FETC in Orlando in January, so later this month. And yeah, I'm pumped to share more of my journey and more of the journeys of other people with you. So yeah, this year, wow. The Teacher's Journey book, the podcast, some really my first chance to keynote local conference here in my area. A lot of great speaking opportunities, a lot of really amazing connections that I've built both through the podcast and through getting to know people. And I gotta tell you that there have been some amazing things this year. So 2018 had some amazing highs. It also had some incredible lows for me, some really difficult things. And one of the things that I will say is that if you're someone who's connected with me and engaged with me in a lot of different places, you probably noticed that I'm not in those places nearly as much. And I will say that that is a direct result of me needing to take a step back and work on relationships and family and myself. And I'm looking forward to using that, the things that I've learned this year to jump back into some of my more important connections, the connections that are really valuable to me, and those that I'm hoping to build, and also ones that I haven't made yet. To really focus on the things that I love sharing, these journeys, mentoring, and then emergent technologies and things like that. Those are things that I'm all really passionate about. So I'm excited to figure out how I can get back into sharing them well with everybody. I've done a lot of really cool things with my class over the course of the first half of this year. Being in a new program, working on a curriculum to teach robotics for middle school has been amazing. Definitely filled with some failures as well as some successes, and it's been fun, but also really challenging. So this whole year has been an amazing roller coaster, and while I would love to say that it was the greatest year of my life, I'd say that there's so much yet to come that will be even better. So, personally, professionally, mentally, spiritually, emotionally, I am excited to move into 2019 to build on some of the great things that happened this year, and let go of some of the things that need to be let go of. And so this brings me to where I want to close this podcast with, is to, one, thank all of you who listen to this podcast, because it is and has been an amazing opportunity for me to learn from so many great people and also build connections with them where some either hadn't or were less prevalent than before. So I want to end it with my one word, and I've written a one-word blog for the past 3 or 4 years. I can't even remember how many years I've been doing it. And I don't even think that I can't even tell you what my word was from last year. I know that what I wanted to do at the time, at the start of the new year, but so many things have happened. Normally I look back and I think, did I do those things? Was that the thing that I did? And I'm going to be honest with you, I don't know. I don't even know if I did it because I didn't look at it. And so I decided not to blog it. I'm going to say it out loud on the podcast in hopes that this new format, this fresher way of sharing it with people will hold me more accountable to it. And so my word for 2019 is joy. And what I mean by that is I am going to try and focus my energy, my thoughts, my work on the things that bring me joy, whether they're in my personal life or in my professional life or anywhere else. Because as I think back on 2018, there's been so much up and down, and so often I didn't focus on the things that were bringing me the joy that I had. And there was a lot of joy. And so I am committed to focusing on finding the joys, whether they be small or large, whether they be incredible things or little tiny things from each day, the laughs of my children, the laughter of my kids, the small successes I might have in the classroom, or helping other teachers in my building, even just a nice, quiet moment spent. If you have small kids in your house, that there's not that many quiet moments you get to spend alone with, with your significant other. So the opportunity for me to have that happen would be amazing. Just little things that I can take joy in. I'm going to kind of cover myself in those and really embrace the many, many places where the joy lies, so that I can really focus on bringing you one, my best in sharing all these journeys with you, and two, to remind you that no matter how difficult things are, no matter how bad things might be for some people, there's still so many small joys in the world, and we need to recognize those things and enjoy them and live in those moments. And so my word for 2019 is joy, and I wish all of you an incredible new year and the joy, both small and large, throughout the year. So thanks so much to anybody who listens. I greatly appreciate it. The people who I've talked to are amazing, who shared that they listened to this podcast, and it is humbling to know how many times this podcast has been downloaded, listened to. Please do, feel free to share it. Let people know about the great interviews, the great stories that are being shared here, and I'll catch you all next time on The Teacher's Journey.